Good evening and happy Women History Month. As you can see, I am back from Malaysia and I am still thinking about that food and I am thinking about that warm weather. And if it is not on your list of places to visit, I'm going to ask you to rethink that and put it on your list. And if you do not have your passport yet, I'm going to ask you to think about why is that and to go back and look at my last video. It's really short. I think it's less than 10 minutes, but you will get a flavor of the place. And I talk a little bit about what you need to get your passport. So tonight's conversation was really sparked by a friend who said to me, "Girl, you need to come out to this protest that's going on this weekend." And I listened to her and I said to myself, you know what? I'm not going out to the protest. I'm not going to feel pressured or bullied into going. I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to think about what makes sense for me. Not because I disagree. I totally agree that we should be in action in some way. But protesting is not my thing. But there are other ways that I can define resistance for myself. And so tonight's conversation is really going to be about how we take care of ourselves and each other and how we define for ourselves what is resistance. Let me introduce you to the channel. My name is Dr. Davia, and welcome to Not All the Things. This is a space for mature women of color where we talk about work life balance, wellness, and wine. And tonight I'm having a white Moscato, sweet, it's delicious. If you are new here, welcome. Feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. And if you are a returnee, welcome back. Good to see you. If you would be so inclined, could you just send a link out to a friend and say, "Come on and check out this channel. I think that you may gain something from it." So thanks again. Let's get started. So the first way you can define resistance for yourself is to lean into the fact that rest as resistance. And I'm sure we've talked about this before, but the truth of the matter is that taking intentional rest, slowing down, and prioritizing sleep and setting boundaries is absolutely a way to be resistant. I am terrible at this. I am constantly moving, moving, moving. But when I reclaim my time and I rest, I feel better. And so just having a moment of stillness, either to listen to music, to meditate, or just to sit, that is a way to reclaim your power. And that is a way for you to define resistance for yourself. So I am really all of these things. I'm speaking to myself. Rest as resistance to me is the very first thing we can do to show up strong and to show up for any fight that we have ahead of us. It helps us to still ourselves, be centered, and to realize what we will and won't do. So I really think the very first step in defining resistance is taking rest. Community as resistance. I don't believe resistance should be a solo act. I think finding and leaning into community is one of the most powerful ways that we can push back against instability and against that fear of being attacked. So if that means you join a support group, you're attending some kind of local community gathering, you're in your fellowship hall at church, simply checking in on your friends and your sister friends, Whatever it means to you to be in community, that is the way that you can draw strength. So when you are feeling like you are swirling and that what's going on around you is really beating you down, just realize that a second act of resistance that you can define for yourself is to be in community. If you share resources, if you hold space for each other, that's a way that we can create some kind of foundation for ourselves so that whatever the oppressive narratives are out in the world, they don't lay heavy on you because it's a shared experience you're having. Community as resistance, for sure, is a way to help you define how you want to be in action. And I would say, if you think about the people who help ground you, reach out to them, talk with them, especially when you're feeling like, oh my God, all is crazy, you'll feel better. You will feel fortified. And hopefully that person is not spinning out of control and can actually help to ground you in these tough times. I'm finding more and more that when I go to church and I'm fellowshipping and everyone in that space is just one, thankful to be with each other, thankful for another day, but that we're in a community that understands us, I am drawing a huge source of strength from that. And that it definitely feels like an act of resistance. My favorite, reflection as resistance. Taking a moment to stand back and be intentional about how you want to react to everything that's going on. Every day, I try to listen to Don Lemon, at least his 5 o'clock show. And I find myself talking back at the TV, doing the Don, or bro, what are they talking about? And so I sit back, I reflect, I watch, and then I am like sitting with how I'm feeling. Sometimes I have to turn Don off, and I love Don. I'm so happy that he is not on mainstream TV because he is a different person. But I find for myself, I have to say, what do I need for myself right now? Is this feeding me or is this making me crazy also? And so being intentional about how I want to act and how I want to be, I don't know, engaged. Is it making me more frustrated when I watch? Am I more riled up? It just it just gives me a moment to say, what is it that I need? And I feel like if you are a reflective person and if you are not, this is the moment where you can begin to ask yourself, what do I need to manage at this moment? If you need a little Don, put a little Don in your life. If that's like going to rev you up, turn Don off. If you need a little Aretha, put a little Aretha in your life. Whatever it is that you need to be intentional. And it's the reflection that helps you to get there. So, one thing that I know for myself is that I am a reflective person and I do sit back, sometimes not in the moment, clearly. I'm like, worked up, but sometimes I need time to step back and, take my shower and I'll think about it in the shower, or maybe when I'm quiet in the morning and I'm saying my prayers, something will come to me. But either way, reflection is another form of resistance because it gives you an opportunity to have a clear head about how you want to act, how you want to enact, how you want to be in action. So, any way that you can stand back and decide how you're going to resist, and if you use reflection to do that, you know you're on the right track. Yes, and taking action as resistance. And yes, I was not interested in boycotting, but I do believe taking action means resistance is about movement. And there are many ways that you can be in movement. Yes, you could be boycotting, Certain businesses, I've been doing that, and lots of folks have been doing that. Yes, you could be educating yourself. You could be reading more. You could be um, reading all kinds of history books because everything is cyclical. And that's what I see my husband doing. He is reading, he is voracious, he is watching videos, and he is going back to the 40s, the 20s. He's just going back. And so maybe educating yourself is a way that you are taking action. Maybe having conversations with other people, even hard conversations with other people. Any movement, any action counts as you're taking resistance. And you don't have to be on the front lines. You can be thinking about how you're spending your money, your economic power. That is taking action. If they don't care anything about us, why are we spending our money with them? Right? And so, whatever little step you're taking, as long as you're taking an active, intentional step, then you are resisting. So I started this conversation out because I thought about my girlfriend saying, "Girl, you need to come out." And I was feeling some kind of way where I was really like, I'm not interested in being out in them streets and boycotting. We've done that. And now that it's really hitting people, they want everybody to be out there. Well, I'm not interested in doing that. But I do think I should be in some kind of movement and some kind of motion. And so I'm doing it in my own ways. And I, would encourage you to do it in your own way. You define for yourself how you want to be resistant and how you want to be engaged in this process because we have to be engaged. And if that taking action means you're going to take a rest, go ahead and do that too. Whatever aligns to your energy, whatever makes sense to you, commit to that and do it for yourself. Do it for your kids if you have children. Do it for the community. And if you choose to rest, that is fine too. So I'm going to ask you all to drop in the comments what's one way you are taking action in your own way. Let me know. I'm totally interested in seeing what are the ways in which you are defining resistance and how we continue to protect ourselves and our peace and also move forward because we got a long fight ahead of us. So there it is. 4 ways to resist: rest, community, reflection, and take action. And you don't have to do it alone. You don't have to. And it doesn't have to look one way. It can look many ways. So if this resonates with you in any way, share it with a friend. Like and subscribe. And remember not to do all the things. Cheers. Remember to resist with intention. And hopefully I'll see you next week. We're going to have a whole wind down Wednesday conversation. We're just going to be talking about wines. So come with a glass, bring your white, bring your red, and your bubbles. And if you don't drink, just bring your water and join us anyway.